Success! They actually had the one color I needed. I wasn't sure that they would. So Garfield is on. He can be accurate. I am tired, y'all. You know, working retail during the holidays is no joke. And today we had a big sale and I am wiped. And let me make sure my hair is not falling on the microphone. And if I had my way, I would just curl up in this chair and not move again for the rest of the evening. I made myself a rare cup of evening coffee. It's 2/3 decaf. You know, there are deadlines, so I can't do nothing. So what I'm going to do tonight, I am going to go ahead and do my Advent. Those are pretty quick. And even though they're like kids' crafts, they are actually kind of energizing a little bit. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just because it's what I used to do for a living, create fun craft projects, or maybe it's just because they're so simple and brainless that I can feel like I've made something even though I really didn't do any of the work. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then the other thing I think I'm going to do tonight is open this up, because if I'm going to have any chance of getting this to her for Christmas, I'm going to have to get started. So hang on, I'm all frazzled. So yeah, my brain is not all with it. Probably might not be a great idea to do much stitching tonight anyway, because I will probably not be able to keep track of like count and stuff like that, because I am fried. But I'm going to go ahead and open this up. We're going to have a look at like what kind of stitches it's going to involve, what kind of coverage, because I do think at least on the back here, it's not full coverage stitching. I think there's like some around the lettering is left plain. And hopefully I can also dig out some, I'll probably want stretcher bars for this. I prefer them anyway. And that might be as far as I get tonight. But we'll do that, and then we'll see if the tiny bit of caffeine in here is kicking in. And if I can get like Garfield situated too. And then if I have two things started, then I can stitch whichever one I feel like working on at a given time. But we are like running low on time. I'm going to have to get started on my calico ornament pretty soon too, because definitely got to finish that. That's like essential to me. But one thing at a time, because I'm having one of those days, you know? Oh, shoot. Do I need to do one of these little dealies and like hold my microphone with my very sharp scissors? So anyway, I think I'm almost done anyway. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I'm just really fried, and Christmas stops for no one, so I got to keep going, don't I? I am, however, trying to come up with a list of Christmassy movies and things that I can watch that I have seen enough times that I don't have to look at them. That's usually what I need to stitch to. Oh, I know what I should do. I should look up some good Joy of Painting episodes and see if there's like some good winter ones, and I could watch those. Love stitching to Bob Ross. Like it's a perfect combo for me. So that might be a great thing to do, and it also helps me relax. And yeah. All right, well, let's just stop talking, Lindsay, and get to the Advent. This is not a thing I've ever done. I shouldn't have let my hair down is what. All right, Vlogmas number 7. We are on door number 7. Gingerbread house. Gingerbread house. It's another cardboard with stickers, yes. Oh, we got a couple extra things. Well, gemstones. Again, it's just a thing of like, you know, it's fun to put the stickers on, but there's not a lot of room for creativity. I mean, I guess you could put the door on this side with 2 windows, but you know, I don't know. Okay, well, I'm just gonna stick some stickers. That's fine. Nope, I missed on that side. Can the stickers restick? No, they cannot restick. You get it wrong, you are out of luck. Again, I'm not sure I want to put the gems on. I don't see a point. I'm going to save them. Stitch charts. Needle didn't leave rust. That's always nice. All right. Okay, so this is actually this big, and this is the seam allowance. So that's nice. It looked a lot more daunting wrapped up, but I think it's okay on that count. I do want to iron it because these creases have been in there for decades, literal decades. And I may also want to wet or steam these threads. These kinks aren't terrible. They're totally workable, but every now and then they kind of bug me. That's one thing about vintage kits is the creases have been in there for a while, so definitely best to try and get them out before you get started. The next question was what kind of stitches? So it looks like it's using, we got stem stitch, Pueblo stitch. I don't know that one. Okay, but it might just be like a split stitch is what it's kind of looking like. So it's kind of a split stitch, but you're going like right next to it instead of like as you would with a back stitch. Blended satin back stitch, straight stitch, loops. That would be the pink. Whip stitch, hem stitch. Oh, and then it's provided lettering, it's provided numbers so that you can add the date, but I was thinking of putting her name in there anyway. Satin stitch and blended satin for the following areas using 1 ply. Pueblo stitch for areas which exceed 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so mostly satin stitch, which is as I suspected. And then Pueblo stitch, which is not different enough to be consequential, I suppose. And then, let's see, 4 rows of stem stitch for a couple of areas. Okay, so it's coming around the top here. So it's here and then across on the back. So anyway, it's nothing too complicated. But before I can prep this for actually getting started, I need to get these creases out. So I'm gonna go do that. And this coffee is not kicking in. Too bad my humidifier isn't going. I used to be able to just straighten it out by getting my humidifier on it. take a little break from stitching for a minute to do my puzzle. And what do you think the odds are that it is a bell? I think the odds, I think the odds are pretty good that it is a bell. Oh, it's slightly different. It has mistletoe on it. I really liked this one. There's enough going on in the design that whether or not a piece could technically fit in the wrong place, it is obvious when it goes and when it doesn't, but it's also just challenging enough that it was still quite enjoyable. So yeah, I think this one is definitely a winner. I like this one. I have been waiting all day for this hot chocolate. Today was one of my later shifts, so I haven't really had a ton of time today, especially since I also want to finish this video up for you. But I came home and started stitching straight away. I did take a little bit of a break to do my advent, as you saw, but I am feeling rather encouraged because this is about an hour or so of stitching. And, you know, that's the easy side, granted, but that's one side more than half done. So I'm feeling rather encouraged that maybe I'll be able to actually finish this in time to get it in the mail for her to get for Christmas. Although I do also need to think about how long it might take to do the finishing. So the instructions have you just sew the two sides together and turn it and, you know, use it as an ornament. And the picture has, you know, things inside it. But this is going to a child, a baby still. So as she grows, she's going to want to like put things in it. So I feel like I'm probably going to want to line it as well. And it is occurring to me that for all of these ornaments that I want to make, I am going to need to dig my fabric back out that I spent the whole first Vlogmas packing away into a suitcase. But the suitcase hasn't made it to my storage unit yet, so it should be easy enough to dig through. Although I think my Christmas fabric might actually be in storage. Anyway, so I'm probably also going to try and line it, and I actually can't access my sewing machine table right now, so I might have to hand sew it. But first things first, we're going to get this stitched up, and I have my day off tomorrow. So I have all day tomorrow to work on this, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. So far, it's been, you know, like I said, it was satin stitch and Pueblo stitch. I need to look up in my embroidery book to see if there's another name for it. I'm not familiar with this stitch. I think I did it right. But basically the main thing I was paying attention to is to stagger the position where I was splitting these stitches so that I didn't end up with like a line straight across or something like that. And you can still kind of see, but one good thing about using Persian wool that usually comes with these crewel embroidery kits is that it is, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, it is plied. So that twist in there is really forgiving, and it's wool also. So over time, even if these splits are visible, they're gonna kind of meld together. So that's gonna make it very forgiving. Not my best, most even stitching. Part of that is this homespun fabric. It's not my favorite fabric. In fact, it's part of why I kind of stopped working it's kind of why I stopped trying to get more of these kind of crewel embroidery kits, because I just don't like working on this fabric very much. But, you know, it's a Christmas ornament and it's supposed to look homemade because it is. But I do also think the Pueblo stitch made it a bit harder to keep my satin stitches as even as I would normally like. So they are a little crooked, but again, the Persian wool, like, the twist hides a lot of sins, so it's fine. And then going around here is a stem stitch. So it has a stem stitch going twice around the outside. I only started here because that's where my thread ended and I just continued. Don't know, that might have been a bad idea because the top needs 5 rows of stem stitch with 2 ply, whereas this is 1. And then it's, you know, the lettering, and I'll do her name up there, and then this side will be done. So that's encouraging. That's going pretty fast, and it is pretty enjoyable. I decided to actually watch Doctor Who Christmas specials because I've seen them plenty of times. I don't have to look at them, and they're nice and Christmassy, but I'm not quite ready for my favorite movies yet, so they have been just right. Well, I say they, but I only watched one so far. So what else? Oh, and then in case you're curious, so I've got both this and Garfield kitted up in here because I'm an 80s girl. I gotta have my caboodles. So I've got the 2 things in here. So that's nice and handy. I did want to start Garfield, and I got, where is it? I cut the Ada, but I didn't leave enough space at the top and the bottom for white space. Like I was thinking about, okay, stitch count, and then, you know, enough for seam allowance, and then I forgot, oh, but I need white space. And this was the original width, so I only had to cut it one place, but I cut it too short. So I did cut another one, but I got to go iron this one. So that's part of why I haven't started it yet. Additionally, Garfield stuff, the copyright on Garfield stuff has always baffled me a little bit, because no matter when the item was produced, it always has the 1978 copyright. And the fact that they put the copyright really large on all of these designs, I don't know if they actually expect people, I don't know if they actually expected people to stitch the copyright into their personal cross-stitch pieces, or if they just did it because that's what they had to do for this book. But sorry, I'm not doing that. Which does mean that the center marks are different. So this, I should go into this later when I have more of the Garfield done, but I don't know if you'll be able to see on the moon ornament, the center marks take into account the fact that the lettering starts way off to the side and is below it. So I also had to like recalculate my center marks. So I did that as well. And I've got the center marked, the true center of the design marked on here. But anyway, I think I'm actually going to get this out of my way. I'm going to focus on this first. The Garfield ornament is something I can give to this person in person. This I want to get in the mail as soon as possible. So I'm going to focus on this. But yeah, tomorrow's my day off, and it's going pretty quickly so far, knock on wood. So hopefully I can get a lot of it done tomorrow. Although, of course, day off equals chores, so I've got that too. But yeah, I think that's Vlogmas for today. So we just got some good stitching in, and I don't know, so often I am plagued by feeling slow, and there's nothing wrong with being slow, but for the fact that I have so many things that I want to make. And so I just never feel like I have time to make all of the things that I want to make. So it does feel nice to have something feel like it's going at a more reasonable pace for a change. So hopefully I can keep that going. Okay, well, Toby, do you want to say hi? Because you're sitting here staring, waiting for me to give him food, even though he's got 2 bowls of food right in front of him that I guess they're a little too crusty. Come here, you. Here he is. Yeah? Okay, well, I'm going to get back to enjoying my hot cocoa while I finish up this video so I can get it out to you, and I will see you next time. Bye.